Welcome back. It is the climax of the group stages. It all begins here with 3 groups being settled tonight. Game week 3 of the World Cup has arrived. And that means 6 games in this episode of the Prediction Show. It is a big one. It is elimination time. And don't worry, I'm here with the permutations. I'll be going through them as we check out the fixtures. Here is a brief look at what's coming up. First, from Group B at 8 p.m. UK time, Switzerland against Canada. Both of these teams on 4 points. Canada are in the driving seat, however, given their superior goal difference after they thrashed Qatar in the previous game. Bosnia against Qatar is the other game, and for both of these teams, you must win or you're going home. And then to Group C, the one that everybody has been looking forward to, Scotland against Brazil. Can Scotland get out of a group for the first time ever? If you're going to do something, you might as well do it the hard way. You're facing Brazil. Can you beat them? Can you get a point? Let's hope so. It would be fantastic to see Scotland get through the group stages. Morocco are facing already eliminated Haiti in the other game, and they both kick off at the same time, 11 p.m. UK. And then at 2 a.m. from Group A, South Africa against South Korea, who will likely qualify even with a draw. And Czech Republic against Mexico at the same time. Mexico have already qualified with 2 wins from 2. Could they rotate for that game? And that would be favourable, wouldn't it, for the Czech Republic? So as always, we're going to take a look at some of the data, some team news, and make some predictions. And speaking of predictions, well done to this user, because you have won a month of OddAlerts Pro. Fantastic prediction on the previous episode. The same applies for this one. Get your predictions in the comments for your chance to win and your name up in lights. So we will start with Group B. Canada in the driving seat, as we can see, both on 4 points, but a +6 goal difference compared to 3 of Switzerland. Switzerland would need to really go at it in this game to get the favourable draw by finishing top of the group. And this means that a draw would see Canada through, which does change the dynamic of the game ever so slightly. And the game dynamic, as we can see here, by the bookmakers, is that they think Switzerland will edge this game, but they're not exactly calling them favourites for it. Canada at 3.9 peak odds. 3.9. They are playing in Vancouver, where they have a fantastic record in the last 4 or 5 games. Now, as we take a look at Canada's recent results, we can see they've not lost a game since last October, and that was to Australia. This game, I think, is set up really, really well for BTTS. Switzerland have to go for this. They've got nothing to lose, really. If they want to finish first, they need to win. And at the same time, Canada, I don't think it suits them sitting back that much. They will sit back with a view to counter, and they've got some very good players for that kind of approach. So I do think Canada will be dangerous in this game. The other game from this group, also kicking off at 8 p.m, is Bosnia against Qatar. Bosnia firm favourites for this one with the bookies, with our model 45%, 28% for Qatar. And if we just look at the recent results, that performance from Qatar, 6-0. Yes, they had dismissals, but they didn't offer much at all. And against Switzerland, we can just take a look at the pressure monitor there. It was an incredible defensive performance, really, or you could say that they rode their luck. I think if you play out that game, Qatar-Switzerland 10 times more, 9 more times Switzerland win and they score multiple goals. Now, the winner of this game has a decent but not guaranteed shot at going through as one of those best third-placed teams. And we've covered Bosnia on this channel a lot in the World Cup, and especially the amount of draws that they've had in recent times. If we look at all competitions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 draws in a row, including that first game against Canada, where we did predict 1-1, if you remember. But that habit of drawing games has to go now. If they want to get through, if they want any chance of getting through to the knockout stages, they're going to have to do something that they've not done since November, and that's win a game of football. So now to the football form guide to check out the teams in the group. We're starting with Switzerland. We're looking at the last 10 and we hopefully will find some interesting metrics that will help us make better predictions. And don't forget to add your own predictions in the comments of this video if you want to win OddAlerts Pro. So as we scroll down, we can see they have seen 2 or more goals in 9 of their last 10 games. Their opponents are being booked 2 or more times in 7 of the last 10. 7 or more corners has occurred in 9 of these games as well. They've had more shots on target than their opponents in 8 out of 10. They've scored a goal in 9 out of 10, so they've failed to score in just 1. And they've also won the XG battle in 8 out of 10. Who's going to have the most XG in this one? I do think Canada are going to be dangerous on the break in this one. This could turn into a bit of a basketball game. And when we look at Canada's metrics, this is sorted by the rank. So where they rank first will be highest. And we can see straight away that there are a lot of metrics here that contain the word cards. For example, there has been a first half card in the last 9 games. 9 out of the last 10 games that Canada have played. We can also see that their opponents have been booked in the second half in 8 of their last 10. 7 of their last 10 games have seen 4 or more cards. And we can scroll down a little bit here to see that they rank 5th for yellow cards received, 21. The jeopardy has increased, that's for sure, as we enter game week 3. How many cards will we see in this one? Will the referees start to get them out their pockets? So given that data and the circumstances around this game, this is what I'm on. Switzerland against Canada, just over evens. Both teams to receive a card as the jeopardy increases in the World Cup and for there to be over 1 goal in this game. I did have a few more options on here but decided to reduce the risk. I was going to go Canada double chance. I was going to go BTTS. I still think those things could very well land, but I am trying to reduce the risk here. My prediction, my scoreline prediction for this game is 2-2, which will suit the Canadians down to the ground. And as always, let me know what you think in the comments. I can't wait to read all of your predictions for these 6 games. Now, before we put together a prediction for Bosnia against Qatar, I just wanted to show you a few metrics which are really interesting to me, at least, on their football form guide. Again, link in the description. We're looking at the last 10 games, and again, the cards are standing out here. They have received a card and their opponents have received a card in each of the last 10 games. So both teams to be carded has landed in 100% of those games. What's even more interesting is that 2 or more cards have been seen in 9 of the 10 games in the second half. And it does make sense given some of the scorelines that we've seen. 1-1, very nervy finishes to the games. They're clinging on in some of these games as well. And we can scroll down and see that they're still ranking first for a lot of card metrics here. Over 2.5 cards in every single one of the games in this last 10. BTTS, 8 out of 10. BTTS or over 2.5 goals, 9 out of 10. They've failed to score in 0. That means they are scoring in every game. Here's a stat that probably will surprise you. If I told you to pick a team from the World Cup that's won more fouls than any other across the last 10 games, I doubt Bosnia and Herzegovina would be your first choice, but here they are, 176 fouls won in the last 10 games. That puts them first out of 48. And we can scroll down to see they are top for both total yellow cards and yellow cards received. 28 yellow cards in the last 10, 2.8 per game. And my prediction for this game is Bosnia to get the job done and for them to receive more than 1 card in the game whilst they do so. It might be a tight, nervy game. Qatar have got nothing to lose, by the way. That does make them a dangerous opponent in this game. They need to win. Both of these teams need to win or you're going home. Simple as that. But I think Bosnia have the quality. Having watched Qatar in that previous game, yes, they had dismissals, but I can't be backing anybody other than Bosnia in this one. Next up, Group C and Scotland against Brazil. On to Group C and Scotland, who are playing Brazil in Miami. I do envy those Scottish fans that are there. Let's take a look at Group C here, and I will try and give you the permutations as best as I can. Simply put, if they get a draw with Brazil, they are through. 99.8% is the rating that Opta gives for 4 points in the group in terms of getting through. So yes, a draw would be enough. If you beat Brazil, then you're through. It's in your own hands, Scotland. 12 tournaments they've been to previously, and they have never got through the group stages. Can they do it today? Let us all know in the comments. I hope they can. It would be fantastic to see, no doubt about that. And for Brazil, it's not a great situation for Scotland because Brazil want to win. Brazil want to top the group to get the easier draw in the next round. It's pretty simple stuff. Morocco expected to win, and potentially with a few goals as well. Morocco did well in drawing with Brazil because it cannot go on to the head-to-head then. So Haiti already eliminated, a very nice team to be playing in that final round. There's also a case for Scotland where they can get beat by 1 goal and be on -1 with 3 points, and that may see them through in 3rd place, but they will have to wait days to find out if they're through or not. That's going to be a bit weird, but that's just the way it's going to work with this group stage. So Brazil obviously want to win the game, and Neymar is back in the squad, so that could lift their spirits even more. I've just got a vision of Neymar coming on for the last 20 minutes and then getting his leg snapped by Andy Robertson. A bit of team news as well. Raphinha is out. That has been confirmed. Neymar, as I mentioned, back in the squad. Highly doubt that Neymar starts, by the way. Rayan for Bournemouth. Sorry, Scotland fans, because this guy is a very, very good player. He is tipped to start in Raphinha's place. He was sensational in the Premier League second half of the season, coming in from Brazil to Bournemouth and playing as he did. He can be unplayable at times. So powerful when he gets going. Steve Clarke is likely to set his team up with a defensive first structure, trying to get that point, trying to frustrate Brazil and then counter on the break. Will it work? I think if Brazil get an early goal here, then it's game over for Scotland. They need to stay in this game as long as they can. Now, if you do think Scotland can have a bit of joy in this game, they don't even need to score. I just want to show you some of the odds here for shot on target markets as I record this. Scott McTominay to have a shot on target over evens, Shea Adams over evens, Shankland 2.5, Ben Doak 3.75, been really impressed with him, but of course in this kind of game it's likely that he's going to be playing more as a wing back. Now, before we put together our predictions, we're going to take a look at the tips section because Scotland have scored in 7 out of 10. That's what it's saying here. This uses all of the data we have available and then passes it through OddAlerts AI to generate some tips for you. Link in the description, as always, if you want to check this out. Scotland fans will like this. Scotland to score is over evens, and it is coming in with a 10% edge. Under 3.5 goals as well. I do like the under for this game, given how Scotland are going to set up. How many goals will we see in this one? Let us all know in the comments. Just checking out the form guide for Scotland here. No team has conceded more corners in the last 10 games. 57 in their last 10 games. That's, of course, 5.7 per game. No team has conceded more shots. This isn't looking great, is it? Shots against per 90, 15.9. They're going to sit deep. They're going to allow Brazil onto them, and that is likely to lead to more shots like this. How many shots are Brazil going to have in this game? That could be an interesting line to add onto any of your selections. They rank second for second half corners conceded, 36 in the second half across the last 10. Scotland have been booked in 9 of their last 10 games, and there's been a first half goal in 8 of those games. Right, I've seen enough. Let's put together some selections. So we're going to put together a couple of predictions, one safe and one a little bit more for fun. Here we have both teams to receive a card and Brazil to get the most corners at evens. I think that is a pretty good price for this game. So my second selection looks like this. Andy Robertson to commit a foul. That was 1.45. I thought that was a decent price given who he's going to be coming up against in this fixture. Over 1 goal in the game. Couldn't really decide which way. I think, look, there's an outcome to this game, certainly, where Brazil could be 2 up by half time. No doubt about that. They've got the quality, but Scotland sitting deep as they will. I think they'll try and nick a goal, and then Brazil maybe will come back even stronger. I would be surprised if this ends 0-0, to be honest. Scott McTominay to have a shot on target at evens. Do like that. 3.75. This one is more a little bit for fun, chasing the bigger odds. Let me know what you're on in the comments. Get your predictions in for your chance to win and your name up in lights in the next episode. And my score prediction for this one, if I have to give one, finding it very, very difficult, I'm going to go 2-0 to Brazil. Sorry, Scotland fans. I would love to sit here and say 1-1. That's what I want the score to be. But I don't think Scotland will offer enough and Brazil ultimately will get their goals. Now, in terms of predictions, I am going to skip the Morocco game. I will give a scoreline predictions, but I'm just finding it hard to find anything worth putting on, and I think I don't want to just put a selection up for the sake of it. So Morocco, Haiti, I'm going to skip, but my scoreline prediction is 4-0 to Morocco. Let me know what you're on in the comments. So Group A, and this could be an interesting final day because Mexico expected to rest a few players. The odds for Mexico were 1.74. They've now risen to just over evens for Mexico to win in Mexico City, by the way. So they should be favourites still, I think, in many people's eyes for this game. I like the look at BTTS, just under evens as well for this one. The Czech Republic have been very, very disappointing, but of course, it all comes down to this, doesn't it? And South Korea, if they beat South Africa, they will wrap up second place. Even if they draw and Czech win, then they will still be second on the head-to-head. And then it can potentially, when teams are level on points, go onto the conduct score, which, if that's the case for South Africa, they'll be absolutely knackered if they do beat South Korea. Now, I've been asked to do this in the comments, and I think this is probably the best time to do it because the games are on at the same time. And someone asked, can you put on a selection where it includes multiple things from both games? And I won't go too deep on it, picking corners and cards and everything, but here you go. Request has been satisfied. BTTS, yes, in Czech Republic against Mexico, and South Africa, South Korea. I'm going to go with a South Korea win at 1.72. I think something is clearly up with the odds going from 1.7, 1.74 to just over evens for Mexico. They are going to rotate, they are going to rest. And Czech Republic, can they score in this game? I think they can. They must go and chase this if they want to proceed to the knockout stages. And my score prediction for Czech against Mexico is 2-1 to Mexico. And for South Korea against South Africa, I'm going to go with a resounding 3-0 win for South Korea. Let me know what you think of that in the comments. I'm sorry, South Africa. I did doubt you in the second game and you got a draw. Maybe you'll get another one here. So that is the first bumper episode done. Please let me know what you thought of this. Should I split them up into separate YouTube episodes, or do you like them as one long thing? Remember to add your predictions as well. Here's what's coming up next. We have Curacao against Ivory Coast, Ecuador against Germany, Japan against Sweden, Tunisia against Netherlands, Turkey against United States, and Paraguay against Australia. The next set of groups will finish in tomorrow's episode. Can't wait to research them and review them and share my findings with you. Until then,